Hello guys, I hope you're doing well. Welcome to my channel. In this video I will be reviewing this LG QNED85B. It's a 2026 model, and the most important aspect is that it's marketed as mini LED TV, but it doesn't have the full array local dimming backlighting technology. And yes, as you've heard, it doesn't have full array local dimming backlighting technology. Its backlighting technology is LED. It means the LEDs are located at the bottom part of the screen. This generates too much heat in this bottom part of the screen. And yes, you might be wondering, why is this possible? Why is LG marketing a mini LED TV without full array backlighting technology? Well, this is illegal, and this is because the mini LED term is not regulated, is not mandatory to be related to the full array backlighting technology. Well, to the full array local dimming backlighting technology. Sadly, as I said, this is illegal. For me, it's a deception, but it's illegal, unfortunately. And in case you're wondering, this is full array local dimming backlighting technology. In fact, this is an example from a model by LG from about 2019. This is the backlighting technology of the SM9000 model, also 55-inch size. In this case, in that model, the local dimming feature was not the best. It was in fact terrible, but the main point you need to understand is that this is full array local dimming backlighting technology, and the technology the QNED85B has is LED. As I said, this means the LEDs are only located at the bottom part of the screen, and it generates too much heat. And the most important aspect, the performance in dark scenes is simply terrible, is simply annoying. And yes, as you can see, the LED backlighting technology is simply terrible in this area. This TV only has 6 dimming zones. It has ADS panel. I don't know if a larger size will have, for example, VA panel. Maybe it will happen the same as the last year, that the 100-inch version will have full array local dimming backlighting technology, but the rest of the sizes will have, as I said, LED backlighting technology, which is horrible. I don't know, guys, if you can stand watching this type of content with this halo or blooming effect, with this horrible halo and blooming effect. And if you turn off the local dimming feature, I don't know what's worse, turning off the local dimming and perceive too much clouding effect with a lot of grayish colors and backlight bleeding, or turning on the local dimming feature and perceiving this annoying blooming effect. And I know probably many LG lovers won't believe me, but that's the ugly truth. And what about the results in terms of brightness and colors? Well, in that area, this TV performs really well. In fact, it's outstanding. I have to give it that. You can access to the menu, and for example, it will give you the option of this LG personalized picture wizard, which allows you to create a personalized picture mode according to what you prefer the most. In fact, I like the results this generates because I don't like too much brightness, but you can use the rest of the picture modes it offers. In this case, I'm playing SDR content. You will have access to these picture modes: the Vivid, Standard, Echo, Cinema Home, Game Optimizer, Filmmaker mode, Expert Bright Spaces, and Expert Dark Spaces. And if you want to, you can, for example, go to Advanced Settings. To the menu appears on the screen. You will have access to this AI HDR remastering. If you enable this option, the TV will try to enhance the results. It tries to give HDR features to SDR content. Sometimes the results are not super impressive, but well, you will have this option. You can access here to the color and here in color depth. If you decide to increase this parameter to the maximum capacity, the results won't look oversaturated or exaggerated. In fact, the results will still look great, as you can see. As I already mentioned, in terms of brightness and colors, this TV is outstanding. Now, with HDR content, the picture modes are less, but the results in terms of brightness are better. You will have access to these picture modes: Vivid, Standard, Echo, Cinema Home, Game Optimizer, and Filmmaker mode. And if you go here to Advanced Settings, you will have access to this parameter, Dynamic Tone Mapping. Usually it comes enabled, but if it doesn't, you simply turn it on, and as you can see, the results in contrast, color enhancement, and level of detail will improve a lot. And also you will have access to these options: reduce blue light, in case you want to take care for your visual system. And look, in terms of colors, the results, as I said, are great. This TV has an outstanding out-of-the-box color calibration, and in terms of brightness, the results vary according to each picture mode. But in general terms, the brightness of this TV is more than okay for enjoying a good experience with HDR content, whether it has HDR10, HLG, or as is this case, content with Dolby Vision. You need to understand that the Dolby Vision high dynamic range technology, or for example HLG or HDR10, those technology will be enabled only automatically if the TV detects that the content you're going to play has some type of this high dynamic range technology. And with Dolby Vision, these are the picture modes. They have the same names. The only change is that the TV adds the Dolby Vision Objective, Dolby Vision Vivid, Dolby Vision Standard, Dolby Vision Cinema Home, Dolby Vision Filmmaker mode, and Dolby Vision Game Optimizer. And as I said, the results in general terms with this high dynamic range technology are pretty good, talking about brightness, color enhancement, and level of detail. What about the motion handling? Well, in this area, this TV does an outstanding job. If you go here to Expert Settings, here in Advanced Settings, then in Clarity, you go here to the True Motion feature. Usually, the smooth movement is the most recommended parameter to enable in order to enjoy the best possible results with this type of content when watching, for example, football, soccer matches. Or you can set this user selection and modify the judder and blur reduction manually according to what you prefer the most. But as I said, usually this smooth movement option will generate the best results by improving a lot the motion handling in this type of content. But don't expect wonders. Don't expect a TV shows you wonders if the content is, for example, with, I don't know, 24 FPS or 30 FPS. And about the image upscaling, well, let's say this TV does also an outstanding job, but also don't expect wonders. Don't expect 4K TV shows you 4K results if the content resolution is low. But if that's the case, for example, you're watching a super old movie, this TV tries to show you the smoothest possible result, better compared to other TVs from other brands with less powerful image processors. What about the gaming performance that this TV has? Well, this is something I want to highlight. This TV is compatible with the 120Hz and also 144Hz in 4K, along with the variable refresh rate technologies. It has the option for this game bar to appear on the screen. you will have access to this dark room mode, which will decrease the brightness if, for example, the room is dark as the name mention it. You will have access to the game optimizer for improve other options, but the most important aspect are the picture modes this game bar offers, which with every selection the results will change in terms of colors, color temperature, and also brightness and contrast. I will show you the examples with this FPS picture mode. Look, the performance of this TV in this area is outstanding. I have no complaints about this. You won't perceive the ghosting effect, or at least I personally didn't expect that annoying effect. The motion handling this TV has in this gaming area is pretty good. You won't perceive screen tearing either, because remember, this TV is compatible with variable refresh rate technologies. For gaming, it might be one of the best options by this brand you can get right now. The main problem this TV has is that when you play, for example, horror or survival horror video games with, of course, a lot of dark scenes, you will perceive too much halo or blooming effect. That effect will vary according to each video game, of course, that's obvious, but in general, if the video games have dark scenes, you will perceive sooner or later with higher or less amount the halo, or also known as blooming effect. But if you're going to play the video games with a lot of color, well, the results, as I said, are outstanding. Good color accuracy and good levels of brightness. What about the sound system this TV has? Well, in terms of overall power, let's say it's average. It has a good sharpness, but it lacks a lot on the bass area. Now, if you go here to the advanced settings, here in the sound features, here sound, then you can select between these sound options. This TV also can create a personalized sound mode according to what you prefer the most, or you can choose between these options: AI Sound Pro, Standard, or Clear Voice Pro, in order to improve dialogues when you're watching, I don't know, a news, maybe, for example. But standard is usually the sound mode generates the best results. If you go here to advanced settings, you will have access to the Dolby Vision technology, you will have access to this equalizer, or for example, you will have access to enable this option, automatic volume adjustment. It indicates that it adjusts the sound for each program automatically when switching content, so that the volume is constant. Well, I will leave you with a small test so you can more or less notice how this TV will perform in real life. I have to tell you, if you can afford a soundbar, well, let me tell you, this TV and you will need it.
The swarm brought ruin to our world. Our proud people became refugees. And yet, they could not shatter our unity. For we are bound by the covenant, the sacred union of our every thought and emotion.
Okay, and what about the operating system? Well, as many of you already know, it is web OS. It is not based on Android, hence you cannot install APK files. For that, you will need a TV box with Android and plug it to one of its HDMI ports. The App Store, this is the App Store. The apps vary according to each country. It has a lot of popular apps: HBO Max, Netflix, YouTube, Crunchyroll, Disney Plus, Apple TV, among many other popular and not so popular apps. And here in the main menu or home screen menu, you can change the location of these icons if needed, or you can delete apps if you want to, which is really useful. You can have access to the voice commands feature. It doesn't support the hands-free mic option. You will have to press this button in order to access to the voice assistant this TV offers. For example, open YouTube. It usually responds relatively fast. Recommend search for action movies. Well, it works pretty good. Search for action movies in every app installed. These are the results. Well, it's not bad. Let's say not bad. And yes, usually LG promotes a lot of the artificial intelligence, but it is not a big deal. And you will have access to this menu. You can change the location of these icons if you want to, if you need it. Here, move, you can change this location, or you will have access to add or remove shortcuts among these options, which might be useful for several users. And you will have access to this multi-view feature, which also might be useful for the vast majority of users. And you can let's say custom this by using these options. For example, in one screen you can watch something connected to an HDMI port, and for example in the other screen YouTube app, or for example a camera, a webcam, you can adapt to some of its USB ports. And yeah, you will have access to connect the TV to LG Think Q, or for example with Google Home if you want to. I know for several users might be very useful. Then you can have access to these features. And yeah, it has this magic remote with its new design. It changed from last year. It has a good design, it's more ergonomic. And well, as a conclusion, is it or is not recommended? Well, this TV is only for LG lovers who don't mind that this mini LED TV has HLED backlighting technology. Remember, it doesn't have full array local dimming backlighting technology. Don't be fooled if sellers or the commercial of this brand promise you the opposite. Remember, it doesn't have full array local dimming backlighting technology. Remember, this is possible because the mini LED term is not regulated, is not mandatory to be related to the full array local dimming backlighting technology. Sadly, it's true, it's illegal. I know for me it's a deception, but remember, it's legal, unfortunately. In terms of colors and brightness, this TV is more than okay, is more than good. The viewing angles are also pretty good because remember, this TV, at least in this 55-inch size, has an ADS panel, and this helps that when you watch this screen from a very wide angle, you won't perceive too whitish colors. In terms of sound, the results are average, not super powerful, but at least sharp. The gaming performance this TV has is outstanding. I have to highlight that. And the most important aspect and the negative aspect this TV has is that the performance in dark scenes, it's simply terrible. But if you don't mind that, go for it. But please guys, let me know in the comment section down below what you think about this TV. Will you buy it, yes or no, and why? And that's it. I remind you guys, you can support my channel by doing some purchases through the links I put in the description and in the first comment. Also click the like button if you enjoyed this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time.